Now let's talk about concrete metrics, concrete AI evaluation metrics that you might find useful for your scenario. Yeah, it's all about, after all, the main challenge, the main point, if we go beyond speed of your application and overall reliability, is about building trust, right? So if we talk about AI, if we talk with AI, we never trust this initially, right? This is why groundedness and relevance of the answers is literally what builds this trust. Bias detection, fairness, safety and security assessments, all could be potential metrics you might be interested in gathering, following, and of course, tuning. Talking specifically about evaluation of your AI product for risk and safety. If you go back to Azure AI Foundry, it exposes set of evaluators with respective tooling, with respective auto-generated data sets. So you can, maybe the best and simplest option, just run all of them against your particular prompt, your particular model. And again, this particular tool gives you 4 severity levels from very low to high. If we move on to AI quality metrics, these are evolved over time, starting from traditional NLP ones. Basically, it's kind of mathematical evaluation of how your how response from your model and prompt, how is that good compared to some reference. If we talk about reference-based metrics, how it's just good if we talk about reference-free metrics, but of course it all really changed with the rise of LLMs, and large language models themselves can evaluate these or that parameter. So basically we use LLM to evaluate quality of another LLM and maybe combo of LLM plus prompt. Let's take one of these metrics as a quick example, Rouge, and this is the one from these mathematical calculations. I mean, you don't need AI to give evaluation of your model plus prompt for this particular metric. And in super simple words, this is about which proportion of output is similar to our best case scenario, to our reference. And for this particular metric, you need to provide your, ideal output of the model. And then it's just a technical task to give you some concrete number from 0 to 1, how good is that? And definition itself is a bit cumbersome because it's definition for whole family of the metrics. And it's a super simple example, metric called Rouge 2, it's about bigrams or combinations of 2 words. If we got output from our LLM, like the cat was found under the bed, and we provided the best possible answer for the same question ourselves, reference, so it's a human need to create this, the cat was under the bed, so it's just really one-by-one calculation of how this, how many, what's the ratio of bigrams in overlaps compared to reference or compared to candidate. So you get a concrete number, the higher number, the better similarity is. AI assistant evaluators can be relevant to retrieval augmented generation. Of course, RAG, this is kind of baseline these days for all kinds of enterprise generative AI applications. It's hard to ever start reasoning about something enterprise-ish related to generative AI without retrieval augmented generation. This is mainstream, at least these days. Maybe something else, something even cooler is coming. And again, it's about trust in your data. For business writing, all applications of business writing, drafting emails, drafting documents, so something that really evaluates human language. We can talk about coherence and fluency metrics, and for similarity, quite similar to what I demonstrated before, but also can be achieved by using LLMs. If we have a quick look on fluency as a metric, so maybe this is the overall metric that that can tell you how close output to natural human language, how easy to follow that, the scale, the volume of vocabulary it uses. And again, back to Azure AI Foundry example, it can give you mark from 1 to 5, so you can take informed decision. Should you pick this model or that? Should you maybe experiment a bit more with your prompt or with parameters of that prompt? I mean, there are many, many moving parts that can directly affect quality of your model, and you can easy take decision, right, just based off these numbers. My next demo, also super short, is about how that happens, how that automated, again, in the same Azure AI Foundry. So just imagine that we are building chatbot for our e-commerce solution that sells outdoor products, something for travel, for tourism. And we picked one concrete model, but we aren't sure about prompt, or at least system prompt we want to use as a kind of beginning of every conversation. So we can experiment a bit and understand which prompts work. Prompt works better, and we can be very specific. Let's evaluate groundedness, how well output aligned to the context data we supplied. So I already ran some previous evaluations, and here I want to demonstrate that set of evaluators is available. And let's go back to automated ones, and let's have a look at this one. I call this initial, our baseline prompt. Again, layout is a bit strange because I zoomed in. And this particular part of the prompt says something like, if question is not related to outdoor camping, just say sorry. I don't know the answer. It's good enough, but maybe not the best, right? And we can check all respective numbers we got after completely automated evaluation, including LLM-based metrics and this classic NLP ones. So let's run one more evaluation with slightly different prompt. So we click somewhere here. And yeah, what we have now, model and prompt itself. I don't want to come up with complete data set, so let it generate it for me. Let's call it model prompt context optimized. I have context in this name because I also provide the context that can come from my RAG system. And I change prompt a bit. If the question is related to outdoor, try to answer based on the reference document. So I a bit emphasize that you have your reference documents. Do your best to find proper answer there. And yeah, I already uploaded dataset. This will be absolutely the same I used for initial evaluation. And here I match fields I have in JSON list format. There is a query, like test query. Something is a context that came from our RAG system. And truth, this is what we provided as the best case scenario. We pick all metrics, and we use like another model for evaluation of this model, just for the demo purposes. Let me use maybe not the perfect one. Let me use a bit old school one, GPT 3.5, just to illustrate that you can use different model to evaluate this model. This is where I edited video a bit, so it took around 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes, to run all this bunch of LLM calls. But after all, I got new values for the metrics, and I can go back to evaluation dashboard. This is now list. I switch to dashboard view, where I can, in very visual, very straightforward way, compare these two evaluations. This one is initial, and this one is what's called optimized. Lots of charts, and if we scroll straight to the groundedness, yeah, new one works much better. Again, I take decision to stick to this optimized flow. After we are online, as I mentioned in the very beginning, our goal is not just to sit and watch these beautiful diagrams. Our goal is to build feedback loop. If some metrics go down, I'm not talking here only about AI quality, but here we also need to look at latency, at reliability, all these, let's say, classic metrics as well. And also we need to adapt to a new user behavior. And then you are done. So once you implemented these three components in automatic, in programmatic, in systematic way, you can be safe with how your AI-infused application behaves. As a bonus track, so I added these slides just a couple of days ago, AI agents. This is elephant in the room, right? So you cannot really reason about generative AI without mentioning something about agents today, right? And as this is next level in all this hierarchy, next abstraction level, of course, it involves many more things to consider when you evaluate this. It definitely deserves separate session, maybe even separate events. So I just have only a couple of slides on that to illustrate that you. So if the first one and the last one are more or less same that we covered in my session, then ability to identify intent of the user, picking right tool, because agents, this is LLMs plus tools, right? Identify tools, tools itself needs evaluation, and how your agent interprets results provided by this tool. I mean, many more things to consider, but I love the fact that agents, they are self-evaluators by default, right? I mean, if someone says that AI agent is not adapting to environment, not fine-tuning itself, maybe this is not real agent, maybe this is just AI workflow or something else. But agents have metacognition, like thinking about thinking, self-reflection, reflection, adaptability, and all kinds of corrections, staying within dedicated resources. Super important point. Yeah, so as a summary, as a recommendation, build strong evaluation strategy. Diverse data sets, everything automated. Of course, you don't want to click the buttons in portal for every release of your application. So everything I demonstrated is available through APIs. I mean, this must be inevitable and prominent component of your overall DevOps flow. I mean, you don't need to deploy new version of application if metrics are not good enough. So continuously refine based on the feedback. And make this real priority for your application, because after all, exactly correct AI outputs build trust from your customers, from your users, from your clients. And my call to action to everyone, find me on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to continue discussion about LLMs, evaluation, Azure AI Foundry. That's me, Maxim Salnikov. Thank you.